Go ahead.
Not at all.
We'll talk.
And,
It's cool.
so we met at, Fort Beach. And then they got so.
Okay, at this time, I'm going to call the meeting to order, and I am going to start by taking roll from my right, please.
Walter Smatter.
Tony Rebo.
Ron Goodman.
Ashley Cockerham. Elida Snow.
Rob Delmas.
Ellen Johnston. B.G. Zimmerman.
Okay, at this time, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Play ball, yeah.
Okay, tonight we are going to start with our student of the month. Let's go ahead and start with Mrs. Martineau presenting Oliver Bland. Missy, I just want to hand those. Sorry, thank you.
So this is Oliver Bland. Oh, I'm Mrs. Martineau, Melissa Martineau. This is Oliver Bland. He's in my second grade classroom. He is here with his mom, Kylie, and his dad, Warren, and I think his brother, Elliot. Is that his name? Okay. And he's got a whole section over here. Grandma, grandpas, and aunts and cousins. So this is Oliver. And Oliver, I chose Oliver for our student of the month for second grade, and here's why. At Libby Elementary, our behavior expectations are listed in the acronym ROAR. Oliver exhibits all sections of this acronym positively on a daily basis. The first one is respect. Oliver shows respect to adults and children alike. Oliver shows active listening by looking at the speaker, refraining from talking, and keeping control of his hands. Oliver is honest and be trusted in the bathroom, the hallway, his ancillary classes, and his classroom. Oliver is quick to admit that he made a mistake and to show ownership for the mistake. Oliver shows integrity by doing the right thing, even if nobody is looking. Oliver is always kind to his teachers and classmates. He can be trusted to be anyone's partner, no matter how challenging that may be. Oliver does this without complaining or hesitation. So that's the R for respect. Now we move on to organization. Oliver uses his morning organization time wisely, so he is ready by the time the announcements are over and class begins. He is a strong, independent worker and gets his work done during class time allotted. He uses bathroom breaks appropriately. Oliver brings his homework folder back and forth from school to home every day. So organization, thank you for being organized. Attitude, Oliver always says okay when asked to do something, even when he is tired or when the task is difficult. Like I mentioned before, Oliver is willing to work with any classmates, regardless if he is friends with that classmate or not. He may not want to work with everyone in his class, but he does, and he makes it a pleasant experience for his peers. Also, I was thinking on the way here, I wanted to add attitude. I have never done this before, and I've had a long time, but I called Oliver a girl's name. I called him Olivia because I have a daughter named Olivia. And the class was mortified. They're like, Olivia! And Oliver's just smiling at me, so he has a good attitude and very forgiving of students' mistakes. Responsibility is the last one. Oliver always works diligently on his assignments, quizzes, and tests. He shows responsibility by taking care of his clothing and stocking his chair every day before he leaves school. And Oliver reminds me every Friday when the students are lining up that the water bottles should go home to be washed today. They have to get out of line and go get their water bottles because I forgot to tell them. So Oliver reminds me. So congratulations on being our second grade student of the month.
Okay, Mrs. Miller presenting Aspen Hayden.
Let's make everybody touch that stuff.
I'm Mrs. Miller. This is Aspen. So I get the privilege of nominating Aspen for a lot of reasons. She's an amazing kid. She has done amazing this year, just from the growth we've seen. She's getting here to where she is now. It's fantastic to see. But not only academically, but I get to see Aspen grow as a person. She has gained so much confidence this year. I mean, you can just see her. She's happy. She smiles all the time. She really leads by example, and you can see that with the conversation she's having in class. And just today, like I was able to look at her with new students, and I went, ask him, can you do this for me? And she has it. And I think that is just stuff that really is leading our classroom and making our classroom fun, and Aspen is having a great year. But this is my fun part, is I get to ask Aspen the fun questions. So I get to ask her, what do you want to be when you grow up? And what did you tell me?
I want to be a bull rider.
Okay? Definitely not something that I expected. So I had to dig into this a little bit. And I hear Dad here. Dad, I hear you're building a bull riding thing for practice. Okay. So really excited to hear about this, and I hope we get to see Aspen in the Libby Rodeo someday. But let's give her congratulations for this.
Okay, I do not have a teacher. Mrs. Ostrowski, is it you for the 8th grade student? Okay. Is it Vial? Sorry, I'm not sure how to, Vial, okay.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, I'd like to introduce you to DL Espineda. Oh, I watch it every time, don't I? All right, DL's here with his father, Kelvin, and his brother, Zion. Okay. The family, so BL just moved here with his family from the Philippines. And so Filipino is his first language and English is his second language. When he gets older, he has an interest in architecture and interior design. BL has never seen snow before, so he just got that little bit of it. But he's kind of nervous about the winter coming up, but he is looking forward to sledding. So he can, okay. So the reason why BL was nominated by his teachers and I was because he has been a great addition to Libby Middle High School. Attitude is wonderful. He has made friends. He's kind to others, but it's just been so natural. It's such an easy process for the kids have warmed up to him very quickly. He's motivated. He is very responsible. We have a 7th period class this year workshop that can kind of be, this kid, it's not a problem. This kid knows how to stay on task the whole time, and he uses the 7th period workshop to his advantage. So he does very well with that. Yeah, we just really enjoy him in school, and we're so proud to have him. We're so lucky to have him with us. So we look forward to seeing what he has for his future with the Libby Public School. So, Bia, I'd like to introduce you to this.
Okay, next I have Maisie or Mrs. Rose. Pass down.
Cute. So, members of the school board and audience, love to introduce you to Maisie, and you have maybe seen her the last week up here on this very stage. So this was Maisie's debut with the Little Shop of Horrors, and I really look forward to seeing her in a lot more performances. I first got to know Maisie as 8th grader, but did you do Science Olympiad 8th grade? So she did Science Olympiad last year as an 8th grader, working on for this year, but there's another theater performance that might conflict, so we need to find a couple more hours in the day so I can hang on to this kid. But besides being a really strong student, Maisie's got all kinds of other things going on. So she's in band, jazz band, she's taking voice and piano lessons. I mean, I think you're going to see her name in lights in the future, one way or another. She's an awesome kid to have in class. I would teach forever if I had a class full of Maisies. She manages to be so respectful to her peers and adults as well. She uses her time well. And yeah, just want to hang on to her. Well, I'm sorry. So this is Maisie Orr.
Next, we have Alex Parks presented by Mr. Goodman, right?
Ah,
No?
no.
No?
We have the teacher tonight.
We have a teacher.
Yes.
I'm a very different looking Mr. Goodman.
Okay, sorry about that.
No worries. Honestly, I can't believe he allowed me to do this. I've never been to this meeting before, so we're just gonna play it fast and loose. All right, Alex, you ready to be embarrassed? Don't worry, I won't do it too bad. Okay, it's no surprise that in this digital age, students have mastered the art of AI and ChatGPT. I myself have not been teaching in Libby very long, but what I have learned is that students are smooth and equipped to creatively complete their work. The student that I have nominated to highlight exceeds expectations. He is respectful. He completes his work with integrity. He meets lessons with curiosity and the courage to try and ask questions. He helps out in the kitchen, and he compassionately tutors his peers when they are struggling to understand information. This student is so dedicated to completing their work that they will sacrifice their break time to meet the set goal, even if it doesn't result in a reward for him, but a result for the class. Alex Parks is a student I look forward to having in my class as he upholds the core values that we want and are proud to see in all of our students.
Okay, at this time, could I get all the students out in the back hallway and Mr. Goodman will take pictures, please?
Light up. Would you light up the folks that come sit down?
I think once this group,
Yeah.
the rest of them probably.
I know they'll talk about that. It'll be like,
Yeah.
can't hear.
Well, like one of them's Mr. Beagle, so I know he'll come and sit down.
Join the
Yeah.
You know who that teacher was? She was a substitute teacher. I've only had her.
I guess I know. Look at that. It's hard though.
You're just so used to it.
You're getting a little light about her.
No.
Lied to him.
Yes. I'm like, here you
Well,
go.
we're just
So
gonna.
he tastes it and just starts laughing.
They were all standing in the back, so yes.
I mean, we have standing.
Chris all life.
Yeah, because we'll like take those like little. Just a liar. 16 hours away. Next month. Just to get James to drink each of those. Yeah. Yep. They are.
I remember
It felt real bad. A lot of work though.
I do remember that. Yeah. Right up there. Good.
So see you guys about.
I'm taking pictures.
Best you did. I mean,
Okay, Rhonda. I think if I just start talking, it'll bring it back in.
Well, that we have. Running down the street, it is.
Like he seems to take
Your
a long
mind.
time.
It's like I'm out of here.
Right.
Stay off.
Okay, at this time, we will go ahead and take any statements from any members of the audience on any non-agenda items. Please be aware that they need to be brief and that we are not able to comment back. Mr. B.
I'm sure some of you are aware we hosted Western A Divisional Volleyball Tournament this weekend. I saw a couple people there. That tournament was ran awesome. It was a great tournament. It was great for our community to bring in. I mean, we had teams stay 3 nights here in hotels and eat out. Nick did a great job of organizing that and running that tournament. It was an awesome volleyball tournament. It really was.
It was great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, moving on. We will start by setting December's monthly meetings. I need a motion, please.
I move to this at the December monthly meetings, December 1st, at 4:30 for the general meeting, and December 8th at 6:30 for the regular board meeting.
Second.
I have a motion by Ellen and a second by BG to approve the December monthly meetings as listed. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
All those opposed? Motion passed. Could I possibly ask somebody to maybe shut those doors back there, please? Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then consideration of minutes from October's meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the October 6th agenda meeting, the October 6th activities committee meeting, October 13th regular board meeting, October 14th building and ground committee meeting, and October 22nd activities.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Tony and a second by Walt to approve October's meetings as listed. Did we all get a chance to read over them, and were there any corrections or any comments?
Oh, the only comment I have was I like the new.
The format is awesome. Thank you.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passed. Okay, we're going to move on to reports, and we are going to go ahead and move the cross-country season presentation to the beginning of all the reports. So is somebody here to do that for us?
There was a picture, were we able to get that up there? No.
Unfortunately, yeah, we're having internet
Not just
issues.
you,
So,
all
yeah.
of us.
I'll come inside. Okay. So I just want to first thank the board for moving forward with separating the middle school cross-country program and the high school cross-country program. We had an extremely successful year. I think separating the two programs allow for middle school kids to train for specific races. As you know, high school runs 3 miles, middle school goes anywhere between 1.4 and 2. So just a different training technique. It also allowed the opportunity for leadership as the middle school kids had to step up. Being separate, we really needed to find some leaders, and we had a lot of leaders at all grade levels, 6th, 7th, and 8th, who really took that team and really led it through. So I just really think that having that separate middle school and high school program really built a much stronger team and a cohesive team. So I have some highlights. We have had a total of 25 runners throughout the season. This is one of the biggest middle school programs really has. I'm not sure of exact numbers, but I mean, pretty big, especially for a program that runs for fun, right? So it's just great to see that many kids that will come out and participate in running. So some of the highlights that we had for middle school boys, I think we have a couple of our middle school boys here too. We had 3 top 3 finishes. We placed 2nd and 3rd in Whitefish, Thompson Falls, and Polson. We had 2 top 3 finishers. We had a 1st place and a 2nd place in Thompson Falls. In one of the biggest meets, which is in Polson, out of 180 kids, we had 2 finish in the top 15. So the middle school boys team is fast. It's super fast. We have about 6 boys running the mile in under 7 minutes. This is the future of your high school cross country team. They're going to be tough and they're going to be good. So I'm really anxious to see how this plays out when they move up to high school.
So for the girls, we had Kaylee Desch. I don't know if she made it today, but she placed in the top 10 in every meet that we had. She was either in the top 3 in the smaller meets, but top 10 in those bigger meets, and that's pretty impressive. She's going after Capri Farmer this year. That's what she says. Some of the girls decreased their 2-mile time to over 5 minutes. And then that's a big deal. So our first race for Libby was 2 miles. And we had only practiced 3 days. So most of these girls had never ran before. To step up and run a 2-mile race in 90 degrees. I mean, it was kind of brutal. Let's be honest. It was tough. And then our last race was 2 minutes. But to see kids improve their times by 5 minutes, that's huge. It shows dedication on their part. I also think it shows the success of having a separate program and focusing on just what those kids need instead of running 50 kids together. We do have some girls who will be running state qualifying times next year. 2 of our 8th grade girls will already qualify for state. And that's pretty big. They're gonna be competing for varsity positions as freshmen. My favorite is, and she is here, I had one runner who did not like running that first day. She did not. In fact, I was surprised that she came back to the second practice. But by the middle of the season, one of the best things I heard her say was, Mrs. Miller, I like running. And she has every intention of coming back to cross country next year. So overall, just to give you some highlights as a team, every kid at the end of the season ran 1 mile in under 10 minutes. That was not the case at the beginning. We did a mile timing in the beginning. I had 6 minutes, I had 24 minutes. But every single kid ran at under 10 minutes at the end of the season. Every kid PR'd their 2-mile time, some with just a few seconds, but like some were 5 minutes. So it was huge. I have to tell you, I thought that I planned a really tough workout one day, and we were gonna run hill sprints at Skidale. And we always say that we take the hill, it makes you stronger. And I'm like, they're gonna be miserable. They're not gonna wanna do this. Running 15 sprints up that hill. They came back the day after, I think with smiles on their face. Parents messaged me, it was the best practice they've ever had. They never had so much more fun as they did running up that hill. So we'll add more to that next year. But the biggest thing is, I think a kid's found a love for running. And we're starting that love for running at an early age. And I think that's very important. Running is a lifetime sport. It's not just something that they get to do in middle school and high school. They can continue to do this forever. It also promotes health, which I think is very important for these guys. So looking at other schools in our area, we have double the runners compared to Eureka, compared to Thompson Falls. I mean, we have a huge middle school program. And I think that says a lot for where cross country is going to go in the future. I think it's just going to get bigger. Out of the 25, we only had 4 8th graders. So we are going to start the season with 20 plus next year. I'm anticipating adding about 7 to 10 more kids to the program. That is just word of mouth. I think we would have had more numbers this year if kids knew that they could have done dual sports. But now that they know that, I think that we will definitely have more. I know that there are already 5 5th graders who are practicing right now, or training for cross country right now. You can actually see them at the high school track. I think every Wednesday and Thursday, they're out there running and they're ready. They're training in the off season, and that's kind of where it starts. So again, I just want to thank you guys for moving forward and separating these programs. I think it was beneficial to the kids. I know it's early, just going to put a little bug in your ear that hoping that this program continues, that with 30 plus, it's a lot for one person. I had, like I said, a 6-minute mile at the beginning and a 20-minute mile. And managing 25 kids who are running at 25 different paces can be tricky. There was one situation where my 6-minute miles kids went half a mile the wrong direction. Now, I know they were able to get back to the middle school, but as an adult who's in charge of 25 kids, I think my heart rate accelerated pretty high that day. So it would just be beneficial to have potentially one more person who can really tune in on what kids needs, keep the safety in check a little bit more. I know Libby's a small town, but I mean, I'm new here. I can get lost. It usually just takes you in a circle, but I'm very fortunate that day that they were able to get back. So again, just thank you guys. I do think I have a parent, if that's okay, if she pops up, who would like to share a little bit about cross country as well.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
I I'm Tanya Dixon. This is my daughter Jalen. She is the one that wanted to put cross country after the first practice. I am here to add on to what Lonnie Miller was talking about, advocating for a second coach. I wrote out my speech because I am not great at this, so please bear with me. I'm here to talk about the importance of student safety and proper supervision for our middle school cross country team. A team of 25 student athletes, which is wonderful to see. It shows students are motivated, active, and proud to represent Libby. As a paraeducator at Libby Elementary and a parent of one of these runners, safety is something I think about every day. Many of the athletes are students I work with, which is why I felt compelled to share my concerns tonight. Cross-country challenges students both physically and mentally. Practices covering long distance and uneven terrain, where visibility and quick access can be limited. With one coach overseeing 25 runners, maintaining safety and accountability becomes difficult and potentially dangerous. During practice, students often spread out over a mile or more. Some finish early, others fall behind, and injuries or exhaustion can happen anywhere along the course. One coach simply can't be everywhere at once. Beyond the physical injuries, some runners manage medical conditions like blood sugar regulations. My daughter is one of them. Earlier this season, her blood sugar dropped during one of the runs, and her teammates had to carry her back to the school, while one coach tried to monitor everyone else. It was a scary moment and one that could have ended much worse. That is why a second coach or qualified adult isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. A second coach would ensure adequate supervision with athletes when athletes are spread out, provide immediate help in case of injury or medical emergency, allow one adult to stay with a student in need while the other supervises the rest, support attendance, transportation, and accountability, offer individual coaching so every runner can grow safely and confidently. Approving a second middle school cross-country coach would show that student safety is not negotiable, that our community extends beyond the classroom. Currently, cross-country is the only sport of its size without an assistant coach. That's not fair to the coach, and it's not fair to our students. On a personal note, this team has been life-changing for my daughter, Jalen. She began the season unable to run a full mile, but through Coach Miller's support and dedication, she's now running 3 miles nonstop. The sport has built her confidence, friendships, and self-discipline, and she's already training for the next season. Thank you, Coach Miller, for all you do for these kids, and thank you to the board for your time and commitment to the student safety and success.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we will just continue to move into our reports. So budget and finance.
I make a motion that we accept the trustees' financial report for October 2025. The total amount of $1,364,286.48. Approved warrants 18164 through 18307. Voided warrants 18263 through 18264 and 15747.
Second.
I have a motion by Rob and a second by Ellen to approve October's trustees' financial report. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion passed. Okay. Leadership team. So we'll go ahead and start with Miss Ashley tonight so she can get out of here.
All right, so I'll make mine short and sweet. So today was the blood drive at the high school, and it went really well. A lot of kids signed up, and most everybody showed up, and no issues occurred. No one passed out, so it was good. Everyone was good. And then, so tomorrow is the Veterans Day Assembly at the high school, so we've been rapidly preparing for that. I know we've been practicing the flag folding a lot, so it should turn out really good. And then the band and choir have been practicing because they have a joint piece together, so it should sound really nice. And yeah, it will be starting at 10:40 at the high school tomorrow, so y'all should go. It'll turn out really nice.
What time is that?
10:40.
10:40 at the high school?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. In the gym, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And yeah, it should turn out really good.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you, Miss Ashley.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. Thank you. Okay, moving on to principals. Miss Kidwell, do you want to start for us tonight?
Sure.
Okay.
So we'll start with attendance and enrollment. So I'll turn it over to Tom.
We have 561 students right now.
In the last month, we gained 0, lost 5.
Whoa.
But 3 of those 5 were last month's enters. 1 week later, they withdrew back to Washington. So, and then today we had 3 new students today. Looking forward to next month, but that will be announced then. Monthly attendance, 91%. First graders were our highest attendance this month, and they got a cookie for their efforts. Also, perfect attendance. We had 156 students with perfect attendance last month.
Wow.
Nice.
And our next point is our academic focus. We have had the privilege of having Carrie Cole support our campus today as our literacy consultant. And so we spent the day diving into data, doing classroom walkthroughs. Some of the data we looked at, she started training our staff on the science of reading last month. And one of the big ahas that our grades 4, 5, and 6 had was that fluency really needs to be addressed in the classroom. So we did a fluency screener of all students, grades 3 through 6, to start to parcel out who is proficient fluently, who needs added supports, and what might those look like. So we were able to dive into the data a little more deeply today and talking about coming up with some structures within the core instruction to support students' fluency development. Our winter benchmark window begins December 8th, so we're already coming on the middle of the year, which is crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And then back to Tom for behavioral trends.
We're working on more fidelity to restorative practices and with students in ISS. So any students in ISS will have a instructional piece, a reflective piece, and a repair piece to go with their ISS time. So hopefully showing them a better way to behave in those times that they're not in ISS, because they're doing really well in the ISS room now. Much improvement over previous years in ISS. Hopefully that trend will continue as we build those and repair pieces so that kids are more proficient when they get back to the classroom. And then also investigations. So we did a bully prevention piece with the community. We had minimal participation, but out of that, we had more bully reports posted. We have a piece that is in the school website on LES, and then they can fill out a bully report. It comes right to Janine's desk and my desk, and that it gets a very quick turnaround on bully prevention. We had several come out of that, and we're working to better solve those issues in a quicker time. So we're working pretty well right now. Also, a couple tier 2 interventions have come out of that. With one incident in particular, students are working with counselors to prepare or repair or improve their ability to, on both ends of the spectrum, with the victim and the person that was bullied. So, Janine.
And then family and community engagement and events. Like Tom said, we had our first annual parent bullying prevention night. Something I think we need to continue to build capacity with. There was really rich conversation for those who did attend, and I think a lot of good information was shared and questions answered. Some really good questions were posed by the families that did attend, and Elida, thank you for being a part of that. Our parent-teacher conferences went really well. It was a really strong turnout. Our teachers continue to appreciate the amount of time that is allotted in our calendar for those conferences, because it makes the time meaningful and it's not so rushed and hurried. So they're really able to spend quality time with each family. So they wanted to thank you guys for making sure that happens. And tomorrow we have a Veterans Day flagpole ceremony at 8:15. If anyone would like to join us, maybe bring your umbrella.
8:15.
8:15, around the flagpole tomorrow.
Better put it on my calendar.
Shop with a Cop is on the calendar, so December 11th. Lincoln County Sheriff and our local Libby PD, et cetera, will be supporting families with the animal shop with a cop. So I'm excited that that is a tradition that continues.
What day was that again?
That is December 11th.
Thank you.
It's a Thursday. And then our Christmas programs are scheduled. So December 18th and December 19th will be our Christmas programs. Kinder and first are at 10 a.m. on the 18th, second and third at 1 p.m. on the 18th, and December 19th, fourth and fifth grade at 10 a.m. So you guys are welcome to join. It's always a very positive event. It brings a lot of families and just a joyful time to kick off the Christmas season.
Parent council updates, Logger Card launches later this month. And then also they are fundraising this year to cover the sidewalk in between the library and Green Pod. So that would be we've been looking at that for quite a while. Hopefully that gets covered this year. Keep the snow off the path. And then out of the building.
Okay. That's it. All right. Thank you, guys. Mr. Beagle.
You guys.
Game one.
Mr. Beagle.
We are sitting at 493 students right now in the building. We're down 3 from last month, so we had 3 leave and no new ones come. Had a couple show up today. Ironically, it's kind of pattern seems to be the same. So that's kind of good. I was going to share, we're finally getting some of the mass testing data from last year coming in, but the state was supposed to, like today was supposed to be, there was supposed to, like all the state data was supposed to be available, and as I was looking today, it's still not there. So I'm going to wait until December just to share that with you. But just kind of looking at it, our last year 7th and 8th graders, whatever the points, when we were about 3 points below the state average. Like the state average was 311, 312, which still don't know what that means, but we were like at 309. And math, we were about 3 points above the state average. So still kind of waiting for the state to give us the state data so we kind of know what all that means. So hopefully I'll share that in December. Earlier this month, we had a group called in to State of Mind. It was a group that we worked with Unite for Youth and Megan Anderson. And they actually came in and we had like a round table of 30 kids that we picked up from school, kind of a very collected group of kids. They spent the day basically talking to kids about just how they feel, what matters to them, and that kind of stuff. And part of it was they put all their thoughts and comments together. And when they're talking about adults in their community, so not just teachers, but just parents, community members, some of the stuff that they came up with, which I shared with my staff the other day in a staff meeting, was one is we need adults in our lives every day to believe in us, provide opportunities to work and engage, and not think that we are lazy and failures. So these kids are really feeling like, as the adults around them, that they have this generation they're considered lazy and failures, which is ironic that they brought that up. And they said we need to know your expectations of us clearly, and if we don't abide by those, you still promise to support us, which I thought was pretty powerful. They want the guidance, they want the structure, but if they don't comply to us, they still want to know that we still, care about them and want to support them. So again, we know that our success with our kids is relationships, and they're just kind of solidifying that. So I just thought that was interesting. It's pretty powerful. I shared those all with the teachers, and we had some really good conversations about it. Teacher conferences, again, went really well. Our 7th, 8th, and 9th grade teachers were booked solid from start to finish. 10 through 12, not as busy. So those teachers do a lot more phone calls than they were just having parents schedule. But our younger grades was, a lot. I don't think they had a single no-show. So that's pretty impressive for us. So that was good. Ashley mentioned our blood drive today. We had 41 kids get blood. Again, those are those things that I think our school does for the community and for certain areas that they don't get a lot of recognition. And that was like, that was as many as the Red Cross could handle today. So again, super proud of the teachers and the kids who helped put that together. Our Veterans Day Assembly, again, they mentioned tomorrow, 10:40. That is all student led. The student council kids run all that. They do all the guest speaking. We have essays that are written and chosen from our grade levels, and then a guest speaker. But it's always a pretty powerful an assembly. I mean, it's a long tradition, and it's very somber, but it's probably one of the biggest things I see that we do in our school. So if you get a chance to attend, I would love to have you there. But
What time is it, Scott?
It's a busy day for our 10:40. 10:40 to 11:40. So it's always a busy day for our vets. I think they get pulled in 900 different directions. But it is pretty powerful, and our kids really respond to it. Tomorrow we have another group coming in. The group is called Seeds, and we work with Garrett on this. They're going to be working with our 10th graders on Wednesday during the Early Out. And it is all towards growth mindset, resilience, just being mentally strong, being able to overcome perseverance, that kind of stuff. And then that group will be working with all of our staff from 1 to 1:45 before we come over to Dome Theater. So, I mean, it's a group that, I mean, normally it's about a $40,000 paycheck to bring this group in. They're coming in. Deanna has worked with them for years. They're coming in, and Europe's paying for it, but they're charging like $4,000 to work with our kids. And so they're a pretty powerful group that, again, is exciting, it's good stuff. And then that Wednesday, all the teachers are going to be over here at the Dome Theater doing the movie. I'm going to have all the paraprofessionals with me doing my CPI crisis prevention training with them, trying to get them recertified or certified for the first time. So a lot of things going on. And again, for the first time, Mark and I actually put together a PowerPoint that had a bunch of pictures for you.
Oh.
Shane doesn't usually look bad, but we had Vince Lega was in town. He's a very accomplished musician. He came and spent a couple hours with our band kids, performing with them, giving them lessons, just talking about, if you don't know him, he plays saxophone for the Lieutenant Dan Band and travels all over the world. But to have a Libby graduate come back and get to teach and perform in his own school, he was so excited. And then he performed at the Memorial Center that evening. But just, he was a great guy, and to see the people kind of go out and be successful and want to come back. It was really good for those kids to have experience that. I know it was mentioned, but if you didn't see the Little Shop of Horrors play, it was fantastic. Again, it was all kid directed and starred in it, and they did an absolutely incredible job. So I'm just proud of all the work that they've done. So again, it's just our kids showcase their talents at a bunch of different places. So just really proud of them and some of the accomplishments they made so far this year. So.
Okay, I'll pick it up from there. So 2 weeks ago, the the React Club and Lead Kids. Again, the React Club is a club that's kind of promotes a drug-free campus. And they, just for the middle schoolers, did a regularly dress up for each day, which was kind of cool. There's some funny pictures here. And then along with that week on Thursday, Miss Katzer had a fun run. That started at the elementary school and then finished off at the high school. And there was some great pictures we have for this time of the day. I'd say for another time, I guess. And then also at that, so Friday wrapped up the assembly just for the middle schoolers. And the middle school students actually spoke to the middle school audience about the dangers of drugs and alcohol. And I think it was pretty powerful, just kind of peer to peer. And pretty great for them to also stand up. Our guest speaker for that day was Chief Cody Erkenbrock. So he spoke. And then it wrapped up where they did some games and some relays. There was a student-teacher basketball game, and the teachers did win 8-0. Outperformed the students that day. We're hoping to do some kind of celebration just for the middle school at the end of each quarter. The Attendance Matter Award came to, for the last 5 weeks, was for the 7th graders had 91% attendance, and the 11th graders had 92.2. So they actually received pizza today. So we do that every 4 to 5 weeks. And then athletic update.
Yeah, very nice. Kind of a nice fun time finally. The only sport we have going right now, or activity, is middle school basketball and 5th, 6th grade basketball. We have 28 7th and 8th graders playing. We have 27 6th and 5th graders playing. And it's interesting when you look at it, we have 12 8th graders, 16 7th graders, 7 6th graders, and 20 5th graders. So it just amazes me how every grade is a little different. But 7th, 8th got to play in their first games this weekend. They went to Summers and Lakeside. We play 7th grade plays in Lakeside, 8th grade plays in Summer. And 7th grade won both games, and 8th grade split. They won one and lost one. So that's a good start to the year. High school sports or activities, start November 20th. So it's coming right around the corner. And then Josh did talk about volleyball divisionals, but it was pretty phenomenal. We had 8 teams here, and at one time in one game, there was 4 Division I athletes on the court playing volleyball. It was some phenomenal volleyball to watch. But I had tons and tons of compliments on our community, which was pretty cool. Everybody, just how nice people were here and what a great little community we had. So it was fun to get all those people for the weekend. That's about it.
Okay. Okay, thank you guys. Mr. Goodman, you're up.
You got it. First of all, the reason that we don't have the projector working is because we're in the midst of switch changing out. And so we're changing the switches for 2 reasons, reliability, and the other issue is safety. So the biggest issue, one of the biggest issues we're dealing with as far as insurance wise is cybersecurity. And so the switches and the endpoints, those are all being replaced right now as we're speaking, obviously, because it doesn't work. So the other thing I want to talk about is at an insurance meeting, and I think this is a big deal for our school district because right now insurance costs are becoming more and more not being able to afford them. And so what taking place in the state is the legislature put in $40 million to establish a trust so that we could have an insurance trust for schools and schools only. And so this is a big deal because we'll see a 5% reduction in our costs. That's what they're looking at this year. We haven't seen a negative number for, Leslie, when's the last time you see a negative number?
Ever.
I have my concerns just because it might be a momentary respite as far as seeing the amount of money that goes into insurance. And one of the driving forces of that, of course, is medical care. That inflates at about 6%, and the economy inflates about 3%. So there is always going to be an increase in the money that goes out, and it's going to be even harder to keep up with it in the end. But at the very least, there's 2 really important things that take place. Number one is the cost that's going to be reduced this year, and hopefully that'll pan out. The other issue is there'll be equality across the state as far as for small schools like Libby or even in other smaller schools. If they have a bad year, they can see double-digit numbers as far as insurance. And so when it becomes one big pool, it'll take a lot of the volatility out of the costs of insurance. So I would very much hope, well, number one, I think this is our only option, but I hope this is a solution that will last for many years, because insurance is a big issue for everybody. And when it increases way faster than we can increase the salaries. So that is a big deal. Another thing, I wanted to throw some information out from the charter school. I am very, very happy with what's taking place upstairs. We have about 40 kids upstairs, and lots of good things taking place. Do you agree? There you go. Yeah, I was a little bit concerned about having 40 kids who all haven't done very well in school, and so it's been a tough situation for some. But it is really turning out pretty nicely. And so I just wanted to put a little shout out. Mrs. Rogers is sick, and she has been doing a super job upstairs. So other than that, the charter school, insurance, and we have some more talking we're going to be doing at the end of the night as well. So
Okay, thank you very much. Moving on to personnel, we have no resignations, retirements, reduction of force, or non-renewals. So we will move on to the consideration of 25-26 staff contracts and transfers.
So we accept the 25-26 substitute hire list that is listed in our packet.
Second.
I have a motion by BG and a second by Ellen to approve the 25-26 substitute hire list. Any questions or comments? Other than we wished it was longer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Please feel free to sub if any of you are so inclined. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passed. Okay, Ronald Snow as Libby Middle High School part-time industrial arts teacher. It's my understanding he has subbed and stuff in the past, long-term sub for us.
Yeah, he's been a sub, he did a number of years, and then he actually did the long-term sub for Bruce Fuller when he had his stroke a few years ago.
Okay.
So he will work with Dean?
Yes.
Dean is, okay.
Yeah.
And he's what, 40 years of building houses?
Yeah,
He's
a
a
lot of
professional.
short
Good.
experience.
I move that we hire Ron Snow for the middle school, high school, part-time industrial art teacher.
Second.
I have a motion by BG and a second by Rob to approve Ron Snow as a part-time industrial arts teacher. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passed. Okay.
Helping out on the resignation next week.
Right, exactly.
That would be the pattern though, wouldn't it?
Couldn't help myself.
Now, Scott, we'll blame you if it happens.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay, moving on to the instructional coach stipends. And I believe the terms are still the same as kind of what we discussed last week and everything, so.
So I move that we accept the instructional coach's stipends.
Second.
I have a motion by BG and a second by Ellen to approve instructional coach stipends. Any questions or comments?
I think it's a great deal.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion passed. Okay, moving on. We have no old business, so we're moving on to new business. Consideration of Lincoln County campus of FECC and Libby School District Number 4 welding room usage MOU.
Do you have to read that?
No, I have to read the next one. But
I looked at that and I thought, how does the light have to read it?
She has to read the title.
That's enough.
Now, there has been no changes from the last couple years, I'm assuming.
It's just the same.
Okay.
Same old, same old.
I move that we approve the MOU between Lincoln County campus of FBCC and Libby School District Number 4 welding usage.
Second.
I have a motion by Ellen and a second by Rob to approve the MOU as listed. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passed. Okay, I do have to read this one. Do I have to read the VIN?
This one you have to read.
Do I have to read the VIN numbers or can I just list the cars? Does anybody know? I can just list the vehicles. Okay. Okay. Resolution for disposal of surplus property, November 10th, 2025. Whereas pursuant to section 20-6-604 of the school laws of Montana, the trustees of Libby School District Number 4 may sell or otherwise dispose of personal school property which has become obsolete, undesirable, or unsuitable for school purposes. Now therefore be it resolved that Libby School District Number 4 declares the following list of personal property as surplus property to be disposed of. 2002 Ford Taurus, 2006 Dodge Town and Country, 2006 Dodge Grand Caravan, 2008 Ford F-350 Starcraft Bus, 2014 Dodge Town and Country. Miscellaneous books, furniture, and equipment. Be it further resolved that said property may be sold by Libby School District Number 4 on an as-is basis without warranty. This resolution shall become effective 14 days after publication and posting as required by Section 20-20-204 of the School Laws of Montana. Any taxpayer may appeal this resolution prior to November 28, 2025, by filing a verified petition with the clerk of district court and serving a copy of such petition upon the school district. The petition shall set out in detail the objections of the petitioner to the adoption of the resolution or the disposal of the property. If no appeals are filed with the district court by that date, this resolution will go into effect. Elida Snow, Board Chair, Stacy Morley, District Clerk, and then it will be dated. I need a second, please.
Second.
I've made a motion to approve the resolution for disposal of surplus property, and Rob has seconded it. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passed. Okay, moving on to consideration of McGrade housing discussion.
Yeah, so just wanted to share some information with the board tonight. We are at the point where we need to make a decision whether we're going to green light or red light. And one of the issues, the biggest issue that we're dealing with is it is very difficult with housing for new teachers coming into the community. Two problems. The first problem is it's hard to find. The second, it's very expensive. And as hard as it is to find a place to stay, for us as a school, one of the biggest issues that we're dealing with, and I don't think anybody in this room that works in the school, one of the biggest issues we're dealing with is recruitment, as far as finding teachers who want to come here and are able to come here. And so we think that having housing would be an incredible way to attract people into this great community. So what we're looking at doing is we want to build a fourplex or whatever is going to take place behind McGrade. So if everybody knows, we own property behind McGrade School. McGrade School is now being rented out, been rented out for almost over 20 years. And the funds that have been pooling there is what we want to use to make housing for teachers. And there's about 5 acres behind McGrade, and there's a well that isn't being used that I believe that we'll be able to use. And I just think it'd be a really good investment for our school system. Not only, for retaining and recruiting teachers is number one, but number two, it would be a great way to have a long-term investment in our school system, and also monetarily as well. I think it'd be a great deal. I guess some of the issues that we're looking at is what the plans look like and what are we going to do. So at this point, the board, I think we need to be able to make a decision as far as saying yes or no. We just have to make some decisions that are going to really either move us forward, or if not, then we're going to have to say let's put it on the back burner. Some of the other guys Tony's been involved in this, and also Walt. I don't know if you guys have some thoughts on this, but
I think one of the things too is to let the public know the monies that we're talking about are earmarked that we can't use for other types of spendings. So those building and grounds money basically can only be spent on buildings and grounds. And the monies we're receiving from rentals from McGrade School, that's where that pot has come from. So when folks have asked the question, well, why did we run a levy if we had $2 million sitting in a pot? Well, the monies that are in that pot can only be spent a certain way. As Ron had mentioned, as we talked about the housing in our committee, it made sense, and something to bring up is that we kind of have an opportunity for guaranteed money. And so one with workers' compensation, if we have a fourplex, say, and we have 4 teachers that are there, and part of the enticing factor is to get them to come here with a kind of a restricted type or not a restricted, but a reduced type income. So the average house in Libby or rental is like $1,800 a month. Being able to offer it to a brand new teacher coming in for $800, workers' comp will pay the school district that offset. So we will.
Yeah, oh, sorry, I didn't, that's not what it's gonna do.
That's not what they're.
No.
Oh, they're not going to do that.
No,
Oh,
but we
well,
still.
I take that back.
No,
We still can offer it reduced
we
rate.
can still offer it at a much reduced rate.
And get compensated back, or?
No, it's just, it'd be straight up what we can.
That was
If-
for reporting.
It's for
purposes
reporting,
only.
yeah.
They made it sound like we were going to.
It
get
sounded like, yeah.
Oh, so
Oh,
that's,
it sounded much
that-
better.
that's changed, yeah.
But it's still incredibly good deal for
That's
us.
something said, something we had talked about in that meeting is gonna have a sliding scale. So you're a new teacher in there, and so you come in at, just whatever that number is, say it's $400 a month for the first 4 months. And then after that, it goes up, kind of increasing to encourage you to, that money you've been saving to, invest in buying your own house or, finding your own place. So it's not gonna be, okay, you're gonna retire here at this house, living in this, fourplex for the next 30 years until you retire. It's more of a, hey, let's get you up on your feet, give a chance to get some savings, get to know the community, get a foot in. And then move from there, and then be able to open it up to the next family, the next young couple, the next young individual that come in. So, kind of run that sliding scale of, hey, it's going to start here and it's going to eventually get to here. So if you want to pay what you're going to pay anywhere, fine, and then we also have a heads up because we've had a lot of good developers in the community that have built multiple types of fourplexes. Everyone's from just ground level fourplexes to fourplexes that are, top bottom. They've all been more than willing to share their architectural plans with us. That's really good. The only issue with, depending on how many we would want to build, if we'd want to build 1 fourplex or 2 fourplexes, we might have to get an engineer in there just to determine the septic, where it would have to be, where the flow, just there's a bunch that would go into that. But relatively speaking, a couple of them have done that, so they would be able to lead us in the right direction fairly easy with not having to jump up over as many hurdles as, if I went out and bought a piece of land and wanted to know if I could put 2 or 3 fourplexes on it. So it's really, we're pretty far ahead in that process to do something like this compared to a normal person buying 5 acres and saying, hey, I want to build some fourplexes.
Yeah.
Well, this will be an investment with our money too, right? I mean, we're spending the money, but we're planning on replenishing that money to be able to use.
Exactly, because
on
that
other
rent will go
projects.
back into that same rental,
Right.
so it's not going, and again, stressing the fact that, this money that's in there, it's not money that we could use to, add to the athletics. We can't buy everyone brand new equipment. We can't use it to give every teacher a 5% raise. It's not earmarked for that. It is earmarked strictly for things like this, so.
The other important thing is at a $400 a month type thing, making up the same number, I just figured it out, you'd be about a 10-year payoff, and I don't see it being that low.
Yeah.
So the return on investment in this would be pretty quick, and then monies from that would be going right back into that pot.
That we could then use.
And then, using that monies for other infrastructure things, the track and, some of the other things we've talked about. It would sustain that money for a long, long time, for roofing repairs and a lot of different things that we're in need of.
And on top of it, we're still getting, the entire time, we're still getting that rental money from grade schools.
Correct.
And then upstairs here, I mean, there's, those avenues just don't stop because we've taken funds out of that and decided to do something, constructive with it.
Okay. Okay, at this point, any comments from other board members or audience members?
So how does PCL gonna work? I mean, you're telling me that you're gonna go, these people coming in here and say, we're gonna charge you $400 this month, but by the end of the year, we're gonna charge you $1,200. That's gonna be, if you build these 8 complexes, that's gonna be 25 to 30 years before you guys even break even at that price. So how do you determine and how do you guys put that forth to those people and say, hey, you know what, we're not gonna tell you when your rent's gonna go up, but it's gonna keep going up until we say otherwise. I wouldn't wanna move into a place like that.
It would be, we would, you know, we wouldn't just be like, you know, you can move in for $400 this month and, you know, just wait to see what happens next month, you know, we're not gonna do that. I mean, there would be, something would be discussed saying, hey, your first 4 months or your first 6 months is gonna be this amount, your next 6 months is gonna be this amount. There would be, you know, it would be very transparent about what it was going to be. It wouldn't just be a surprise where.
Yeah, and we didn't really discuss it into months. It was years. Your first year. would
Yeah,
be
yeah.
This, your second year and third year.
Yeah.
And we were hoping to have, the tenants not being in anywhere
And then what happens?
past like 3 years. And
What happens
that,
if those buildings stay empty?
Then we would rent it
Then
in town.
all of a sudden, we're 2 million in the hole. Yeah.
It's your goal to
Yeah.
be available for incoming teachers, right?
That would be the goal. And, or employees
So your
too.
goal is to
Yeah.
keep it empty. That's a $0 return plan.
But we don't think that they will stay empty. I mean, we would be able to
But
rent
if
to,
if you're already struggling with getting teachers here as it is, you should put feelers out at least to say, hey, are you guys willing to come, would you be more willing to come get, we actually had low income housing for this long, so that you knew that that was gonna work, because like I said, like he said, you know, to me, your goal is to save those for strictly teachers. If those teachers aren't coming, then there's nobody in those buildings. Now you're sitting there paying taxes and rent and, you know, all the maintenance on those that are in.
well, we would be able to rent to anybody in the community. It wouldn't be, our goal would be to entice teachers.
That wipes out the.
Could I please just finish really quick?
my understanding from Ron too is that we could rent all 4 rooms out right now to.
There wouldn't,
To
there wouldn't be,
staff.
yeah, there wouldn't be any problem right now. I mean, it's not, I don't think it's an issue of could we fill them? The question is how are we going to, who gets to choose it? Because what's taking place right now, I mean, literally, I talked to an employee last week, and the big issues, 2 big issues, the cost is off the chart. And we're talking not very nice places, are really expensive. And it's not just the cost, it's very difficult. Anybody in this room, if you've been looking for new housing, it is, or any kind of reasonable housing, it is very expensive and very hard to find. 2 problems. And so across the state, it's not just Libby. Across the state, that's one of the big issues that's taking place is schools that are now, that have never done teacherage. I think in terms of teacherages, I think in terms of Class C schools. And this is taking place across the state of Montana because the housing shortages, it's just a big deal.
Okay, this $1 million you're gonna spend, you got the $1 million right now, right? Correct?
We do.
You have $1 million to give or take?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, is all these schools in Libby up to par? We don't need to spend any money on these schools, for nothing? They're all up to par.
We have maintained them over the last few years.
All the hospitals and all the schools, you take that money, and put it in these schools.
But that's where,
Schools up to par.
That's exactly what we'd like to do.
You
Yeah.
guys just gotta BS somebody up there.
We have done that. We fixed roofs.
That's not the
we
next
replaced
one, we
roofs.
gave you for the school.
That money has gone into our schools. I am sorry, I'm talking. Yo, you were not talking.
Okay, guys, okay, we're not gonna get into that right now.
I'm sorry.
That's okay, it's
I
okay.
apologize, Madam Chairman.
Can I say
But
something?
Let's,
about the
or
monies?
Stacy, go
So
ahead.
the monies are not from taxpayer dollars. They are from our rentals and leases that we've been collecting on for the last 20 years. And that's where that money's coming from. Renting out the grade center and upstairs. It is not taxpayer dollars.
Go ahead.
Money does belong to the taxpayers. The buildings are owned by the taxpayers. So
Leslie, did
any
you have something?
revenue that comes off a taxpayer-owned building is taxpayer money.
Go ahead.
So this money could be used to go back into the schools for improvements.
Correct.
It could, but please understand that that would be a one-time use money, a one-time repair, where what we're looking at doing is potentially keeping the money coming in so that we can try to self-sustain and continue to make repairs through the years instead of 5 years down the line having to come and try for a levy if we've got something happen. Janine?
So I want to kind of piggyback, has there been a needs assessment conducted in all of our current buildings to really determine the needs? I mean, I know you guys say it's updated, but there's a lot of need I know at our campus just because of age. And I'm just curious if there's been any sort of needs assessment to determine, does that money need to go to our existing buildings first before we look at building a teacherage?
Yeah, I would support that. And no, to my knowledge, there hasn't been a needs assessment. And we, with this whole idea up here, I'm quite of opposite opinion. In my mind, you already have your rentals and you already have rental income coming in. You take that money and you put it back into your facilities until they are top notch. And then at that point, when those monies are gone, you can then go to the tax base payer and ask for more money because you're out.
And that's what we're trying not to do.
It's just going into the rental business. We got several housing coming on 2nd Street. We got a bunch more by the junior college, not even up yet. I think we have to let the builders take care of the housing and the school. Take care of the kids, teach your kids. We got a $400,000 track. There's all sorts of stuff right now.
So what happens when the money's gone?
Then you can ask the public for money.
You think they're gonna wanna pay?
Not if we do this.
Look, this is a way so they don't have to pay.
We have rental income. If you're proposing to build houses and have it vacant,
they're not gonna be
first year,
vacant.
then if it's not for first year.
They're not gonna be
teachers,
vacant.
We're just building rental parks. Which one is it?
Why would they be vacant?
It's for first year teachers. How
No,
often?
it's for teachers first.
Need for first year teachers. That wasn't.
I don't want to go someplace that I don't know and rent something that I'm not sure what's going to happen.
We never did say first year teacher either. It can be for any staff too. Go ahead. Hold on one sec, Tony. Go ahead.
A couple things. I mean, it was just proposed to us that the reason for doing a project like this is to help attract first year teachers. And so there's no guarantees that first year teachers would use it. So you kind of go two ways potentially. You either have to leave some vacant for future, or you're going to be renting it to other people. And as soon as you're renting it to other people, it's no longer for the benefit of first year teachers. But my question is, what is the anticipated value in something like this per year to a first year teacher? What would be the monetary benefits? Is it going to be $3,000, $5,000? Has anybody
we have not
that off your scale? Because with my limited involvement around real estate, a quadplex will cost $750,000 to $1 million easy to save a first year teacher like $5,000. That does not seem cost effective.
We have looked into cost of building and what will one fourplex did we?
Well, so too is that, we're sitting, so I'm going to share the number. We're sitting at about with $2 million from this 20-year thing. And to dispel a couple of things, one, it's not for first year teachers only. We're looking at keeping and recruiting teachers to stay here. Teachers come for the first year and can't afford to stay here and they move on. So it's not just recruitment for that first year. It's getting them here for the second and the third and continuing until they're able to get, establish a place. And I mean, I'm sorry, but we're looking at spending about a quarter of what we have in that $2 million on this investment. That leaves us, around that $1.5 million with the continuing rental monies coming in from a grade to continue to work on other things. And so as we've talked, or what I've heard is that some of the things is like the high school track and some of the other things, we have the monies to still be able to make those repairs. And I love the idea of a needs assessment. I think that's a smart, crucial move. I think we're trying to kind of solve several things at one time with this. Trying to have a recruitment tool because it is getting tougher and tougher and tougher all the time to get somebody to come and stay here. So
what's the anticipated financial benefit on the first year?
Well, so look at it this way, if two teachers came in and shared the duplex, that'd be, say, $450 each person. I don't think they're gonna, I mean, that's a really great place, and it'd be a clean place and a nice place for them to be. And just talking to people who are looking for housing right now, it's very expensive, like talking $1,800. And so those are the realities, and it's hard to find. And yeah.
$1,000 a month, you're talking 12 grand would be in a year's time.
Yeah, 12 grand, and you said a quadplex?
12 grand per apartment.
Yeah, so you're talking quadplex, so you're talking 48,000.
Two bedroom.
A benefit.
Two bedroom
apartment. You asked what the benefit would be to the teacher.
Yeah, so you're saying they save $1,000 a month for a year.
It could
That's
be
12 grand, potentially.
Yeah.
Granted, with your sliding scale, it sounds like it's gonna take away from that sum, but if it's 12 grand and you have a quadplex, so that's $48,000. If it costs $1.5 million to save 50 grand a year, seems like you'd be way better off just giving them 50 grand a year, giving them a stipend or something to help offset housing.
We can't give a stipend. We can't, that's the point.
Yeah.
So I think what everyone's hearing this like $1 and $2 million, and so they think we're going to just go take $2 million that we have sitting in the bank, and we're gonna just go build $2 million worth of property out there. You can build a fourplex for $350,000 right now. So what's that?
You are not building a closet for $350.
Well, it's 200 square feet of room.
I mean, you can get close to that, believe me.
On top of that, you guys, last meeting, you guys talked about you still have to get that other well, because the well that you guys are using right now is a county well. So you don't even know that. So there's another $50,000 to get that well going. That's what was brought to us the other day. To me, I think this is a big mistake. I mean, we're spending a bunch of money when these guys over here at the LES are asking for money to go ahead and build something from one portion of the building to the other, so the kids aren't dragging water into the school, slipping and falling all the time. But yet we've got this money to go ahead and build quadplexes when you don't have the money for that. That doesn't make any sense. They've already asked for it. They've been talking about it. And here we are leaving and paying when supposedly we've got $2 million. And that's gonna cost, you're right, what is it, like $50,000 or something?
I don't know if the estimate is on.
So, we're looking at something that they've been asking for though, that's a lot less than $2 million. I really think this ought to be put on hold. You guys ought to put feelers out and find out if people are actually gonna wanna do this. Otherwise, I think it's, like I said, because if you start hiring, you keep saying for the school people. Well, again, this is taxpayer money, no matter how you look at it, it's still taxpayer money. And if you end up not being able to fill those, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, we need the money, we have to let other people come in, how are you gonna kick them out? Do you realize how hard it is to tell people that they have to leave a complex like that? There's a lot more into it than saying, hey, you've got 1 month notice, you gotta leave.
You want a motion?
You've gotta leave this open for that.
Do we need a motion on something?
Yeah, it's emotional.
Okay, thank you for sharing all your opinions and thoughts, you guys. We do need to make a motion on whether to move forward with this, looking into this and starting this process. We have to do it in affirmative motion, and then you vote for it or against it.
I'll make a motion, but I also want to include in it, I do think that it's important that we do have some type of needs assessment so that we have a comparison to what else it is that we're looking at. So I would make a motion that we move forward with the exploratory research to move forward with this, which would also include a needs assessment of the current buildings, just so that as we move forward and we, talk about this at a future time with the public, we making a number up that we have $1 million that needs to go into total repairs for all of these different things. That still leaves us X amount. So,
Okay.
I think
That's a good motion.
And I second that because I agree. I think, and I get this from just the way that we've talked up here. I think people feel like we're breaking ground tomorrow if we vote yay on this. That's not it at all. I mean, I'm the newest member of the board. I've been working at the elementary school recently with a couple issues. Anything that comes up, that's my background is, finding and trying to figure ways to fix these things. And so I've been working with Tom on a couple projects in a couple different classrooms, and I'm willing to do that. I want to make, obviously the schools that we have standing the best they can, but if I don't know what those things are, Tony doesn't know what those things are. If we don't know what those things are, then, we can't fix them. But I would also like to think about what are the future things we can do? And I think that's where this is coming from. So, again, I don't know if I'm speaking out of turn here, but we're not talking about saying, let's vote yay, and we're going to grab some shovels and hard hats tomorrow, and we're going to start digging ground. That's not it. It's just like, hey, if we can get our schools up and running, is this something that could add value and attract teachers or even help current teachers, current staff members to, get a foot up, get going in the right direction. So that's all it is. We're not,
Okay.
no shovels coming out tomorrow.
I have a motion by Tony and a second by Walt to approve the moving forward along with a needs assessment of the other schools. Any other questions or comments?
Are there other school systems that have done this?
Yes. In fact, it's not just taking place on a regular basis. It is increasing significantly across the state of Montana. This whole issue of being able to find housing for teachers is actually, this is a big issue. In fact, that's.
You're saying it's an issue or it's happening?
It's happening. Schools that have never had teachers.
For how long has that system been in place and what kind of issues have they run into?
Yeah. So if you look at Class C schools, a lot of Class C schools have teacherages because, like, if you're in Antelope, Montana, there's not a place to rent. And so they've been doing that for a long time across the state of Montana. But what's taking place now is an increase in all schools as far as the housing shortage is a very difficult situation. Even if you're in a large school, the cost can be prohibitive for the teacher salaries as well. So, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Have you guys put together a formal business plan?
We have to make a motion and approve it before we ever move forward with any of that. So that is what we're kind of starting tonight.
What we're trying to do.
Go ahead.
I've kind of been in this situation before with my employer, but if I was an employee at the school district and you know that you have existing facilities that need repairs and upgrades, and that's being ignored, and you're gonna spend a bunch of money on some other project that affects potentially 4 teachers, that's if they even are interested in it, that's kind of a slap in the face in your existing staff. They're sitting in dated facilities needing repairs.
And that's why, sorry about that. And that's why the need assessment has been added to the motion. Okay, a couple of final comments before we make a vote. Hold on 1 second, please. I called on him.
No, that's okay. I think there's a lot of good ideas presented. And clearly you have ideas and no plan. There isn't a concrete plan that lays this out. So needs assessment, I would agree, that's one. I think the other side of this, aside from investing in housing, which employers have done that too, right? Because of the same issue.
Yeah.
And it's worked for them in the cases where they've done it. But the other alternative is you've got a sizable amount of money And it's an investment opportunity as well. How can you leverage that to grow significantly and maybe provide both an opportunity to address housing through a stipend, through facility, and address facility needs? I mean, you guys, I think the lack of transparency up to this point is probably your biggest issue.
So I just need you, I'm
No,
sorry.
hang on.
Yeah, no, you're okay.
So it's looking at this as an opportunity. What are the alternatives? Right? I hear ideas about one alternative, but I'm not hearing anything about the other things that could be considered. And in the assessment of each of those areas and opportunities, what's the best course to take? That's the way a business would look at it. Right? You kind of narrowed your thinking, and I think you need to widen it to look at the alternatives and make your best choices. But you have to do it transparently, because up to this point, it's not been transparent.
Okay, so
And that I would say is probably the biggest issue in this room.
can I explain something real quick? So we meet as a buildings and grounds, and ideas are tossed around and things are discussed, and then it is brought to the board and we discuss it here. And now we have to make a motion before we move forward with anything. So this is us in the very beginning stages. All these that we've been talking about are ideas. There's no real concrete plans at this point, but we as a board have to make a vote before we move forward with these situations. One final comment, and then we're going to go ahead and make our vote.
Okay, I'm just wondering, have you looked at any alternatives building for possible like renovation into apartments? Like Ace Wood? Like the Wood School.
We don't own them
We don't
anymore.
own Ace Wood. We don't own them. You don't own it anymore. But are there any other buildings that might be possible that would not be quite so empty?
I don't believe that has been an idea that has been discussed, so.
I think that's always the opportunity though for
Yeah.
discussion. I mean, as Elida said, we're kind of trying to make a motion to start a master planning session. That's basically what it is. We can't be very transparent with anything we don't really know. So this is just the beginning talks, and all we're saying, we want to make a motion to continue the talk or let it die right here. That's kind of the thing, is we're wanting to make more master planning. I think the needs assessment, adding it to it adds value. And so that's all we're looking at, is taking the next step, and it will involve the community and other meetings, so.
Will it be put in the newspaper?
Probably not. I mean, that's,
Board meetings are posted on
yeah,
the
these are,
website.
these are public meetings, so we always post our agenda, and so you guys will know when it's on the agenda, and feel free to come back and if the motion is approved, where we're at with it, so. Okay, at this time, I'm gonna take a vote. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Motion passed. Okay, we are going to move on to consideration of Libby High School baseball program. So there's been quite a bit of discussion about this already. So we need a motion to approve, affirmative motion again, and then we can discuss. So. Oh, yes, it should. I was a package deal. High school baseball, girls wrestling. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Both of them, yes, for Title IX purposes. Yes.
We don't have it listed on there. Is that okay?
Yeah, we discussed it. It's in
Well,
previous
just-
meetings.
I know it's discussed, but.
Girls wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I make a motion that we approve the LHS baseball program and girls wrestling.
Second.
I have a motion by Rob and a second by BG to approve the LHS baseball.
Can we have them move outside? So I can't hear you.
Okay, sorry guys. Okay, guys, if our meeting is still going on, so could you please move into the hallway? And once they've moved, could I have somebody close the door again, please? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
One last sneak out. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, at this time, we have a motion by Rob and a second by BG to approve LHS baseball program and LHS girls wrestling. Any questions or comments from the other board members or audience members?
Got more questions on that.
Go ahead.
So once again, this means that you guys are going to continue to fund cross country like you have in the past, correct? You're going to keep hiring the new coach for the Libby elementary school, the 5th and 6th grade. You're going to continue doing that, correct?
That is on our list, our academic.
Okay, 'cause like you said the other day, as these would be the first ones to be cut, that wouldn't be cut. That's what I want to make sure of, because you know, I have heard from other people as well, not just him now, that there was talk about cutting the 5th, 6th grade coach part at least. And, you know, they made it very clear today that is a necessity, you know, it is a safety issue.
The 5th and
And
6th
if you're willing to cut that, then.
It's never been discussed. That has never come up. That is not true. No one on this board's had that discussion about cutting anything with cross country.
Okay, well, like I said.
We need to put that to bed. We're talking about baseball and high school girls wrestling.
We're talking about money, we're talking about taxpayer money funding.
It goes into a lot of things. One, next year when the programs come up, if cross country only has 5 kids come out, we have to look at that. It's no, so then we can't, there's been no discussion on cutting cross country whatsoever.
Okay, go ahead.
So you're discussing the high school wrestling, is that gonna be just for girls or is that gonna be boys included also?
So we already currently have a boys wrestling program. So this would just be adding girls wrestling. Thank you for your question. Anyone else? Yes.
What's the anticipated cost of these programs?
We have discussed doing it in conjunction with community programs. So Legion is helping us. I believed $7,000 was our number for baseball and $3,500 was our number for girls wrestling because community programs are helping. So they're going to become a club sport. So I guess I should specify that in the motion. It will become a club sport, which is a shared cost with community programs.
And that'll just be for the first year, to my understanding. And then next year, we will have a discussion with them because it's kind of, if it's a go, the wrestling club may not have to put up to 3,500 or the number may change. In the same way, we're giving Kelly and the baseball team the opportunity to see how it's going to do because it's going to affect their Legion program and we don't want to hurt that. So between the coaches, we've come up with a plan for this 1 year. And then next year we'll relook at it. But the monies you asked about that, we had monies because we didn't have speech and drama this year. So we were able to not have to spend any more, kind of, it's all a wash. And with the help of the 2 clubs, we're able to do this basically at no cost to the district.
So the anticipated cost for these new programs are offset by a surplus you have from
this year.
Yeah, no speech and drama, no kids went out this year. So there was money budgeted for that, which will then go towards these programs.
And adding girls wrestling, I think is going to be fantastic because just watching we had such a good feeder program for little kids start wrestling at 4 years old. And I tell you what, I watch these girls, I've been, helping coach and watching for a long time. You watch these girls just kicking these boys' butts for a long time, and then they kind of get to that age where they just don't have a place to go anymore unless they want to wrestle, with the boys. And then of course, you start getting into different things there. So I really think that looking at some of these young ladies that we have out there on the mats right now that are taking the extra time, putting in the extra work, excuse my language, but I think the girls can have a hell of a wrestling program here in a few years.
Okay, 1 second. Go ahead.
So will it be classified still underneath the school sport this year?
Yes.
Or is it gonna be next year?
So will be this year. So it will
About
be a
3
school sport
weeks.
this year. Yeah. Go ahead.
So currently, are the little girl ladies wrestling the little gentlemen?
Yes, in the logger, what is that called? What is that program?
In Little Green Chain.
Little Green Chain, it's a separate program. It's not a school program.
Yeah, so this program that you're talking about, what ages is that, Jamie?
High schools, so 9 through 12.
So you're not talking about high school ladies wrestling high school boys?
No.
No. They would only be wrestling girls.
Yes.
Yeah.
Girls wrestling, if I'm understanding, is like the fastest growing sport in the state of Montana right now, so.
In the nation.
It's better than wrestling.
Yes.
No, they're separate now.
Yeah, it's completely separate. So this would allow adding baseball under that umbrella would then bring in the girls wrestling, which would be fantastic, like I think, said.
Okay, any other final questions or comments? No. Okay. I have a motion. I forgot who made the motion.
Rob and then BG.
Rob and BG. Okay, so at this time, we are gonna vote. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion passed. Okay, motion to adjourn, please.
I so move.
I have a motion by BG and a second by Walt to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passed. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Great grandchild. My granddaughter.
We don't know.
Who's happy with the guy? And she now.
These three. Thanks for coming, guys.